And I mentioned, let me see if this is dry. Barely. Okay, a little bit tacky. I mentioned that part of the value of this video is being the real life of a real artist. Now, of course, I'm sure there's lots of exceptions. There's people who refuse to do anything that's outside their exact bull because they're ornery or because of the ability. That's different. Then there are people who, for some reason or other, strike it rich. You know, and it's partly because they're very good. They're at the right place at the right time with the right marketing and the right so on. I would point to Malcolm Gladwell's writings in that regard. A lot of this is luck. But the rest of us, we make a living by working hard and doing weird stuff. This is weird stuff. It's fun. I mean, hey, every time if I ever, and today I'm not struggling with it in the least, but anytime I get leaning toward grumpiness or lack of gratefulness, oh my goodness, it doesn't happen very often. As soon as I realize I'm doing myself, say, shape up Nelson, that's ridiculous. If you drive like I do, every summer, you drive by the poor blokes that are holding the slow and the stop sign construction zones. 5-degree heat in the sun, standing up on hot pavement all day long. Come on, that's hard work. And 1,000 other things I could name. Almost everything in the arena of farming and agriculture is somewhere between is more difficult than what I do. Right? Anyway, but I work pretty hard. I'd say over my lifetime, I've worked quite hard at stuff. And part of that working hard is saying yes to weird little jobs. This client today, I haven't even told him how much I'm going to charge. He knows how much I charged him for the painting that's around the corner that I showed you a little while ago. So I don't think he'll be surprised or shocked because I'm going to be reasonable, even erring a little bit toward generous here with him, because that's what sensible, good people do. Err on the side of generous. Anyway, so let me bring you up to speed. Since I left you, I did indeed using this medium, and I forgot that it was gloss. It is. I'd sort of rather have matte finish for this, but that's all right. Gloss will do. And using this brush, by the way, mostly, I just did real fine black and brown. The two colors I use were black and brown, so very dull brown glaze over the wood grain that I'd already done. And I thought I might come back and do more dark wood grain. I did a little bit, but not much. And then as you can see, I did the nails. Whoops, I just realized I missed some nails here. Let me, speaking of nails, I missed some. Let me go ahead and get those right now. Can you see down here? You can't. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 1. And I'm going to do with tiny little brushes, I'm going to do little bits of accents on these nails. Let me show you what they look like up close. So those smudges that I just made right then are very, very smudgy, and they are, in my opinion, not at all convincing as nails. So they're not done. So I'm going to come back with a little tiny brush and do a little edge of reflection on the top and maybe a little edge of shadow on the bottom of each nail head. But right now, let me show you my palette. Very simple, white, warm colors to match what was in the wall, brown and gray, mixed together to create basically the same color that's already here, just a lighter version of it. And so I'm creating little highlights especially on the tops of each of these boards, just to give the impression that, you know, the board has a little edge on it right here. You guys probably can't even see that, so this is a pretty boring broadcast. You can't see what I'm doing, but you get the idea. So I'm going to do quite a bit of that here up at the top. At this top board, I want to indicate an entire highlight area as if this top board is slightly rounded. Again, you can barely see that. Let me do a little bit more of that. So I'm adding a little bit more white to this tan mixture. And just want to give the impression of lightness, the light hitting, as if the board here at the top is slightly rounded. Want it to look a little bit like a frame, you know, as if this part of the ship has a board at the top. You can see the shadow that I put here to try to give the impression that the board is this particular board at the top and the bottom. They stick out. They come toward the viewer. So that's it pretty much. I don't really think I need to show you any more. I almost followed my usual formula. Here's my usual formula. Anytime you're painting a highly variegated surface, hair, skin, trees, foliage, grass, clouds, a very busy passage. The formula is mid-tone over the whole area, light, dark, medium, mid-tone over the whole area, dark details, then light details. Now, ironically, on this, I reversed the process. I did darks first, then medium, then light. So, as the name of my book that I will write someday, the name of the book is The Breakable Laws of Painting. So every law can be broken. You just need to know when is the right time to break it. So this was one of those times. For some reason, I thought it would come out looking better if I did my wood grain underneath my glaze instead of on top of it. And frankly, looking at this right now, I believe that was a correct impulse. That it seems to be working. Well, the one thing I've played around with different. Can you see that? No, I've played around with different boards being different color. You can see this board is darker than this one, and this one up here, this top board is darker than this one. This one's darker than that one, and so on and so forth. I haven't really, and maybe I should. I haven't really played around with slight different colors. You know, should I have one board ever so slightly yellower, you know, or grayer than the other one, warmer or cooler? I don't know that. I'm thinking about it. I could do that, you know, I could do that last with some but I'm not sure. I think if I start going down that path, I just might be biting off more than I ought to. I just have a feeling like, nah, leave it uniform, leave it simple. So I think I just talked myself out of that impulse. So here I'm doing a little tongue painting down here. You know that expression, right? Oh, again, I'm out of your picture. Sorry about that. Tongue painting. Doing right here on this highlight on the bottom side of this knot. In other words, the knot is recessed. Can you see that? Let me turn you around so you're seeing that. There. See, so I want it to look as though the knot actually indented in. So there's a highlight down here and a shadow up there. That's probably enough. You've seen enough. So again, I did wood grain with chip brushes. Actually, this size. Wood grain with chip. Well, first I drew the boards. First I measured and drew very carefully. Measured straight lines, horizontal lines. Did not trust that to my eye. I think that'd be nuts to try to do something like that by eye. So that's all measured, of course. Then I taped off all around. Then I did the wood grain with very watery paint, right? Then I glazed with a transparent brownish, dull brownish glaze. Then I did a few more wood grain and nails, and then I'm finishing with highlights. So that's it. That's my formula. Lots of fun. Way more fun than the guys who are holding signs by the side of the road. And yes, I'm very, very thankful that I don't have to do that. Okay. Well, no, I'm way out of your range again. I don't know if that can be fixed or not. Okay, I'll paint with one hand for a moment. There's also something to be said for, even in something like this, which is almost like a cheap trompe l'oeil type painting. Even something like this, there's something to be said for a little bit of brush stroke, a little bit of hand, so to speak, a little bit of proof of human presence, a little bit, even when you're trying to do realism. Don't you think? Okay, so after I hang up with you guys, again, I'm going to do all the nails, most of them. We'll have a little bit of, with a tiny little brush. I mean, like this. Can you see that? Yeah, a number one script brush, and that'll be done. Yeah, about 2 hours work, about $200. Thanks for watching. Talk to you, I hope, tomorrow. Bye-bye. Oh, wait, I missed some comments. Let me stay. Oh, pegs rather than, well, cause, man. You make a really good point. Pegs rather than nails. You know what? Cause, I'm glad you said that. I think that's a really good guess, but too late. I did have this thought though. I'm gonna put you down for this because when I talked to my client, I said, "Well, is this outside a ship looking in or inside a ship looking out?" And he said, "Outside looking in." But then he told me he wants to open this and have fog out there. So that makes me think, no, that's inside the ship looking out. Be that as it may, I got online and looked at portholes. This is inside a porthole, so this is actually the inside of the ship, and these aren't necessarily the same boards that are on the outside of the ship. As I understand it, it wouldn't be just one log. It'd be thick on the outside and then another layer of thinner on the. That's my explanation, guys. What do you think? Yes, little seascape, and I'm going to leave that up to him. He didn't ask me to do that part. Exactly. Anyway, so as a matter of fact, since I've gotten this far in, I actually think that most ships, wooden ships, the outside boards would be horizontal. The inside boards would be vertical. That's, again, I just looked up on Google, portholes, wooden ships. So to be actually more realistic, if this is the inside of the ship looking out, these boards should be, in most cases, vertical. But what the heck, this shipbuilder, for some reason, he's a little bit different, Instead of doing vertical like all the other shipbuilders in Amsterdam, he decided to do his horizontal. That's my story. I'm sticking with it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.